Hello again, my friends. This is a fun one. So those of you that are familiar with the brand, you know we do repeatedly, right? The Broncos, the FJs, and the Thrift Masters. If you really know the brand, you know about our Derelict projects, which are just too much fun, like stupid fun. So this is the very first Icon Bronco Derelict. We bought this truck from a guy. He called me up on the phone and he said, hey, own this truck since new, not really using it anymore. Maybe you'd be interested. So as he started to tell me the story, I realized I was very interested. So we bought it, literally right over the phone, a couple minimal photos, just felt right. When the truck showed up at Icon, I was like, oh, it's on. So the second I saw it, the conditions were just way too cool and it had to be a Derelict. So I took one single photo because I was super excited as it was being unloaded from the transporter, and I put it on Instagram and I said, this one's special. This one is for Derelict only, not selling it for the normal process. And I figured maybe I have to spec build it, or maybe I'd hold on to it for a year until someone really got it. Boy, was I wrong. Literally like 20 minutes after that posting, a guy reached out and said, I get it, I want it, let's do it. And what a great client. Super excited that it found the right guy. But part of what's so exciting about a truck like this, to me at least, is the story. I am a sucker for a good story. So, this guy's dad had bought it brand new, and I have a picture of him and his dad when they first took it home from the dealership. Then I have another picture that the seller provided, which came along when he was taking the truck on his very first date with a nice young lady as a teenager. He ended up marrying that lady, and then I got a picture later of their marital bliss, and the truck has been with them since day one. So the truck is full of significance and story for the family, and that's a big part of the Derelicts, right? Because not only did Derelicts really enable you to get out and have some fun and like create your own memories and new excitement, but every bump and bruise and scratch is telling its own story, and it makes you wonder, or at least it makes a geek like me wonder, like, where's this truck been? What has it seen? If it could tell stories, right? I'd love to hear what this truck would have to say. So anyway, enough about my romantic stuff. 1966 Ford Bronco. This is the first year of manufacture, and this is a very special version referred to as a Roadster. 66 only. They were the total El Strippo model, very low production numbers, and what denotes the Roadster is no heater, no radio, no doors, no top, and these super cool like quarter door inserts, which are fiberglass, but you know, these are actually in amazing condition given their age and material. So anyway, there's that. What we basically did is everything that you've grown to know and love from the Icon Bronco, all that engineering, the chassis goodness and everything, this truck has all of that. But instead of restoring and modifying the body to be more Icon design branded, it is left to make it look like we did absolutely nothing. Now, surprisingly enough, you'd think, well, that's easy. It's harder than the other process, because a lot of times the stuff that we're doing to make it look like we didn't do it is a big task. It takes a lot longer, and you have to be very forensic. Also, like as you take it apart, you find more stuff, and then you geek out on that stuff and you want to preserve it. So for example, normally on a Derelict, we're going to restore and redo all the inner fender finishes when we integrate all the modern components. But darn it, this truck, on the driver's inner fender, his dad had used a pencil, it looks like, to note all of his service that he did throughout the years. And we just, you know, I didn't have the heart to paint that. You can't paint that. You just can't. So we had to work around it. So for the fuse panel base, we did custom. The housing that hides the computer is custom. We faux patina painted, which I know even the combination of words hurts my brain too. but it works when done right. And the guy we have doing it is an absolute rock star. So things like the modern I Did It column, that ECU housing, the custom center console. We actually took a toughie and hacked it to death to make it work in here. But that and the wheels and other details were faux patina painted so that they would match the general aesthetic and not look all shiny and new. And that's really key. We used an original Bronco steering wheel on the tilt collapsible I Did It column, and we did the spun pewter icon lizard dead center there. We did not bother with heat, we did not bother with AC, because what's the point? It's like a fart in a windstorm, you know, you're totally open. But there's something about the openness of this truck that just enhances the entire experience. It's so much fun. So gauges are custom. They're actually what I designed for the new old school Bronco, but we fit them even in the crusty, rusty original bezel because we didn't want it to jump the shark. The primer dash, you may say, oh, why is that primer? You guys should have done. Well, it's actually factory finish on the Roadsters, just like this. So we wanted to leave it alone. Other than that, headlights, you got a lighter, you got an ignition switch, which we use the original bezel so it looks original. And then there's one new knob on the dash, and that's for the Bluetooth audio system. So again, we did not want to do our normal console with the modern CarPlay and all of that. It just ruined the vibe. So what we did is we took an original knob from one of our parts trucks and we repurposed it with a dual pot potentiometer that now controls audio on, which excites the Bluetooth circuit, and then is your volume control. So we have two focal speakers hiding under the dash, and it gives you plenty of tunes without visually jumping the shark. Speaking of opportunities to jump the shark, the wipers. Yes, we have our own 3-speed with delay modern wiper system, but it just would have looked stupid. So we actually restored the really poorly working vacuum wipers unique to these early models. And then in anticipation of them not really cutting the mustard, we had a special hydrophobic coating done on the windshield. Speaking of special coatings, Icon has recently embraced Ceramic Pro. It's a kick-ass aerospace developed nanoparticle ceramic coating. But we reached out to them because we saw that McLaren and a couple other supercar manufacturers were using it. But for us, the idea of developing it and using it on the Derelicts was super cool. So we've started using it on the normal Icon FJs and BRs, but on the Derelicts it has added value, of course, because the idea is that it will seal and freeze the aging of the patina significantly while offering significant protection. Also, of course, the heat-cured polyurea has been applied on the underside of the complete body before it was reassembled on the new chassis. We did the usual polyurea on the interior floor surfaces, except this time we did it in white because it just would not have looked right if it was the black. It's too stark. It would have interrupted the openness and the general flow. Other than that, I guess you could dig into my other normal videos for blah, 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 but I'll quickly run through the mechanical specs. We're running a 420 horse Mustang GT Coyote V8, aluminum fuel injected 5-liter. We're running the AX15 transmission, flowing power through to the Atlas 2 twin stick shift on the fly part-time 4-wheel drive transfer case. Axles by Dynatrac, Dana 60 Pro Rock high pinion in the rear, and a highly modified 44 in the front. We're running the Icon developed Brembo Sport brakes with a Hydro Boost master cylinder, and we're also running the ARB locking differentials. Suspension is 4-link in the rear, radius arm in the front. Components are Eibach and Fox Racing. Oh, the upholstery is kind of cool. It's silver vinyl and it is dead stock, unique to this model. So we just didn't have the heart to monkey with it, so we left it alone. Bench seat, stock. The Roadster would not have had a rear seat, but we added it at my client's request because it's more fun to share such a vehicle with 2 more people. But of course, what else? We left the stock rear view mirror. We just replaced the head. The gas cap we left looking stock, with faux patina painted a brand new one. So it does everything we need it to do, but wasn't all a pretty shiny billet, because that would have sucked. We just did a killer video with this. It'll be live shortly after this video. It's going to take a long time to edit and dial in, but I have really high hopes for it. Dear friend of mine is a very well-known wildlife American photographer named Shane Russick, and Shane invited me out to a secret spot in central eastern California where he knew there to be a herd of wild Mustang horses. The idea of having the opportunity to rock this Bronco with wild Mustangs, priceless. Well, it turned out it was priceless. The photography and video that we got is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm super inspired by it. You'll notice on my Instagram feed, and we're going to add it to the Icon website as well, we're selling 2 phenomenal prints showing me at speed with the herd of Mustangs, and we're selling that print. I'm not making anything on it. I don't care. The money goes directly to cover both the photographer's baseline cost, but more importantly, $100 from each print will be donated to the American Wild Mustang Society, that is all about preserving their position in American history and their rights to BLM and wild lands. It's a fairly controversial issue. People are going, oh yeah, but they're taking away. They're not. They have every right to the land just as we do. And the fact that it impacts commercial cow farming makes the economics of it highly political. But I will spare you any further rants. I will merely say thank you yet again for taking the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Any questions, old school, reach out to us at 818-280-3333. Instagram, Icon4X4, Facebook, Icon4X4, or Jonathan Ward. Websites, Icon4X4, but I guess that became obvious. Thanks again. Be well.